Hello, printmakers. You are at an extremely hard and therefore you are very talented at your ability to do printmaking, skill level F. Let's go ahead and get started to see how we are adding to our learning at this high level. Okay, so we are in our skills level sheet, and on our skills level sheet, we're moving all the way over to F. It says, I can plan a 3-layer print. I can carve into easy cut following the safety rules. I can use different shaped gouges. I can carve deep enough to allow for a clean print. I can create textures, and I can label the prints in order. Okay, I am of course going to my sketchbook, and in my sketchbook I am going to write down, oh, Miss Russ, you have a leftover from your last video. I'm going to write down my name. I'm going to write down printmaking and that F. I'm going to level F. I'm also going to label that this is going to be 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, writing upside down, and 4 of 4. Okay, once I have done that, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to pull off my mess that I have on my mat, because if I print in a mess, I will make a mess. And then I'm going to get myself some Easy Cut. Once I do that, I'm going to plan out my art. And I recommend going ahead and planning first in your sketchbook, like up here. You're going to want 3 sections that are all different colors. So I did make some plans on my sketchbook before I went to my Easy Cut, because I'm of course going in pen, and even though I have a erasable pen, I wanted to make sure I liked my plan. And then I also need to think through, what are my colors going to be? So I'm going to have this be orange. I'm going to have this be, let's see, let's go ahead and make that let's do green. And then I'm going to have this be black. That means I would, of course, print the orange first, then the green, then the black, because I'm going in order. And remember, artists will write black with a K rather than a B, so they don't get it confused with blue. Okay, once I've done that, I'm ready for my first rounds of prints, because I want this to be orange, therefore I have to print using orange. So I go ahead and get out my orange ink. I roll it down, as we know how to do. It's the same as the foam. That's why we practice on the foam. I want to make sure I get a nice solid layer of color, so I'm going to go in multiple directions so it's nice, clean, and consistent. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my plates or my print, and I'm going to turn it around. Now, this is the trick. I'm going to line it up with that black edge, and I'm going to make sure that the top is facing up. Again, if I have only a brayer, that is fine. If I have the fancy pants tools, that's great too. If I have a Baron, and I'm going to pull it off. I would then do this 3 more times. For the purpose of movie making, I'm going to keep us going forward. Oh, Miss Russ, that's going to drive you crazy this whole video shoot, but that's okay. I have to now clean this off. Of course, I would go to the sink to clean it off, but for the purposes of here, I'm going to use a wet rag. Okay, once I've cleaned this off, I now need to remove anything on my print that I want to stay orange. So I now need to get one of these bench hooks, and I'm going to hook it into the table. And then this would normally face me, right? So you would be sitting right there where you're probably at right now. And I would take this and I'd put this in here so it's faced up. And then I'm going to get out a small tool first, never putting my hands here because this thing is sharp. My hands always go in the back to hold. Never, even like this, how Miss Russ has it, isn't safe. But for the purpose of the fact that Miss Russ is carving upside down, I carve on my black line first. Once I carve on my black line, I get a bigger one, and now I can carve out whatever is supposed to be orange. Now you'll notice when you get to see how that slips, assume your tool will slip. Never have your hand where the tool could slip to. I recommend taking it and twisting it as a way to get those edges. Oh, Miss Russ, you gotta keep your hands out of the way. We can't see. This is kind of an interesting experience for Miss Russ. She is carving and cannot see what she is doing. Now, if I were to try and print this now, do you see how it's not all flat? You can even see a little of the orange on there. So you have to go down deeper so that none of that would touch the paper. Of course, my hand is behind. It can be close, but see how it's behind my tool, not in front. This would be a terrible idea. Behind my tool. Okay, now once I've carved the whole area so that I feel like this is all down, level, and I have a nice, neat area, I am ready to print again. All of these shavings, of course, go in the trash. I go back to my print area, and now I need my next color ink. So I'm going to pull this out of the way, and my next color was purple. Move this up here a little bit so you can see. These tools all need to go back because I can't get any ink on those. And I don't accidentally want to put my hand in one of them. Making sure I get that nice printer sound, I'm going to roll my ink. And if I've carved enough, it shouldn't go on that area I just carved. Once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and go back, bring my sketchbook back over, and then again, when I turn this over, I got to line up that top, and I take time to center it over top so that I like what I have, because once I set it down, I cannot move it. Taking my clean brayer, I'm going to, ooh, Miss Russ, you just moved it. This is why it's better to have the Baron, but we don't have those in our school. Okay, pull it off. Ta-da! Now I would do that, of course, 3 more times. Probably each time you would get a little bit better print, but for the purpose of television, we are going to keep on moving. So I'm going to go ahead and, of course, clean up my space, clean up my print plate. Okay, all of this. All right, I'm bringing back out my bench press. I'm going to tilt you down so you can see just a little bit better. Okay, now I have to clean off anything that I want to stay purple. So again, I'm going with that smaller cutter, and I'm keeping my hand behind the plate, and I'm going over top. Oh, now see, I can't have my hand there. I'm going over top of my black lines. Now see, I can't have my hand there, so I gotta spin the plate. Always ask yourself, am I headed to my fingers? If the answer is yes, the solution is to twist the plate. Now you're probably not carving upside down, but on the other hand, like Miss Russ is, you've never done this before, and I've done it a lot. So just really, really watch. It's super easy to aim towards your hand. Okay, now once you carve those lines, we also want to carve in those texture lines. Let's make sure you guys can see. Yeah, you can see okay. Okay, once I've carved in my texture lines, oh, Miss Russ, this is not the best printing you've ever done, but that's okay, Miss Russ, we understand. We understand. Now I'm ready to gouge out that big area with the bigger tool. So, again, turning my plate. And I'm making it level with that last area that I did. And this is where it can get tricky. If you have tight details, sometimes you have to carve. Look, I'm carving to that line, but I'm not able to pull it off yet because I would have to spin my plate and go the opposite direction to get those to pull pull off. Right? So I'm carving in the opposite direction, and it can take, if you've made details, sometimes you have to change your plan. Just always remember, now I'm hitting the camera stand. Turn, 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 and get all of those details out. Okay. Oh, Miss Russ, you better hurry. Your video's turning long. I could put this on fast forward, but I think it's really helpful to watch a person carve. It's not as easy as you think, and watching someone else carve can help you get your, oh, see, Miss Russ's video is supposed to be over already. That's what that timer means. That timer means you're going too slow, Miss Russ. Okay. Let's see. Now I might even have to go back in with this smaller tool to finish out. Turn my plate. See, Miss Russ almost went towards her hand. To get those smaller details, I want to make sure that I have nice, clean edges. Okay, so you see how I'm doing finished detail work. You want to make sure you have nice, clean edges. Okay, once you have it all cleaned off and you're sure that it's low enough, you are ready to go back to printing. So, make sure we can see here. These tools, of course, go away. I've cleaned up my mat. Now I'm getting out my black ink, putting down my black ink, and you will get some of it onto here. And you know what? That's kind of the cool part of printmaking. So I don't worry about it. If on the last print I get a little bit there, that's okay. I'm now going to take it over. I'm going to line up my top again. Remember, once I set it down, that's it. I'm going to make sure I don't move what I've carved. Ta-da! Now, ooh, it's hard to see that purple on black. Miss Russ, that's not showing up in the video at all. Miss Russ, here, well, before, when I did my practice piece, you're going to have something that looks like this, only you're going to have done it 4 separate times, which means you should be able to have 3 nice, solid prints. With that, happy art making, and enjoy carving into Easy Cut. Bye!